well, everybody who's been on the internet, I'm sure y'all saw that I filed for divorce on Friday. And yeah, right now it's a pretty crazy time. And to be clear, yes, I filed Friday, but this is something that has been brewing for a while.
I'm definitely not gonna sit at home and fall apart. That's not gonna happen.
So I'm just moving forward and looking for the sun to come out. How about that?
Welcome back to Celebrity News Addict. Today, we're diving into the breaking news surrounding Kandi Burruss' shock divorce from husband of 11 years, Todd Tucker. Since filing for divorce just a couple of weeks ago on November 21st, Kandi and Todd have been gearing up for battle, with disputes already heating up over custody, finances, and the legitimacy of their now disputed prenup. So, in this video, we'll be getting into it all, including Kandi's decision to file for divorce, the details of her filing and Todd's countersuit, the underlying tension that had been brewing for a while, rumours of infidelity, the pair's struggle for primary custody over their 2 young children, and Todd's wild accusations surrounding his decision to sign the prenup, which might just prove Mama Joyce's gold digger theory after all. Plus, we'll be digging into the pair's $30 million finances and getting into the public reaction and fallout since the split, including the social media post that has some fans whispering that these exes might not be truly over. From adultery to custody battles and rising tensions over the validity of the prenup, this divorce is turning ugly fast. And as always, we've got a lot to cover. So let's get straight into it. As usual, we'll kick things off with a quick timeline of Kandi and Todd's relationship to get some context for how we found ourselves in this divorce battle that is getting uglier by the day. So, Kandi first met Todd in 2011 on the set of Real Housewives of Atlanta, while they were filming the season 4 cast trip in South Africa. Todd was working as a producer for Bravo, and the pair quickly hit things off. At the time, Todd told the Daily Dish, quote, "I was trying to play it cool in Africa, as it's against the rules to cross the line with the talent. In production, that's a big no-no. I loved her smile, she had a great butt. She seemed very humble and genuine." In a 2013 interview with Glamour, Kandi then revealed what happened behind the scenes in their relationship, stating, quote, "He did end up quitting the show. That was a big decision for him to have to make. He resigned, but then they came back and said they didn't want him to quit. He still works with the same production company, but he doesn't work on our show." After their initial spark in South Africa, the pair quickly began dating and grew their relationship over the next couple of years, until January 1st, 2013, when Todd popped the question and the loved-up couple revealed they were engaged. In an interview with Us Weekly on January 16th, 2013, Kandi revealed that she had first spotted the ring, a 2-carat white diamond, on a housewives trip to Vegas and had called to tell Todd about it. According to her account, he had then had it shipped from Vegas and had carried it around for 3 to 4 months before proposing on New Year's Day in front of their friends and family at their home in Atlanta. Kandi revealed that she was, quote, "totally surprised but so excited," stating, "I used to make jokes with my friends that I was part of the Forever Single Club. That's what I said before, but now I'm totally different." Then, like so many housewives before and since, Kandi and Todd were married in front of the world in their very own Bravo spin-off, Kandi's Wedding, which followed the lead up to their wedding planning and discussions surrounding their prenup before they sealed the deal on April 4th, 2014. After their extravagant wedding, the pair came together to unite their daughters from previous relationships under one roof, as Todd brought Kayla and Kandi brought Riley into their new family. And it wasn't long before their family of 4 started to grow, as just over 1 year after their wedding, Kandi announced she was pregnant with their first child in July 2015. In an interview with E! News, Kandi revealed she and Todd had gone through IVF to conceive their first baby together, stating, quote, "We're so thrilled to announce the news of our bundle of joy. it's a dream come true. Then, on January 6th, 2016, Ace Wells Tucker was welcomed in to the growing family of 5. Fast forward 1 year, and Kandi and Todd expanded in a different way, this time welcoming a different kind of baby as they opened the Old Lady Gang restaurant together, inspired by Kandi's mum, Mama Joyce, and her aunts Bertha and Nora. The pair continued to enjoy their happy marriage together for many years, both on and off camera. Celebrating 5 years together on April 14th, 2019, Kandi posted some photos from their wedding day to Instagram, alongside the caption quote, "I can't believe it's been 5 years. At Todd, I love you so much. You were the perfect match for me in every way. I'm thankful to God for you. The last 5 years have been amazing, and I'm looking forward to all the amazing years we have to come. Hashtag it's our anniversary." Soon after, in September 2019, Kandi and Todd revealed they would be welcoming another baby into their family, this time via surrogate, which became a big storyline for season 12 of RHOA, when Kandi revealed that their surrogate had initially been pregnant with twins, but sadly lost one of the embryos. Then, a couple of months later, on November 22nd, 2019, Blaze Tucker was born, completing their beautiful family. Once their children were born, this power couple didn't slow down, as they both continued to grow in their careers and love life, taking on multiple professional projects individually and together, including another restaurant, Blaze Steak and Seafood, as well as co-producing a range of Broadway hits and TV shows, all of which became a central theme for their storyline on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But 1 year after welcoming their daughter Blaze into their family, in 2020, there seemed to be a hint of trouble in paradise when, during a couple therapy session filmed for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Kandi and Todd admitted that their busy work schedules had taken a toll on their relationship. Todd had stated, quote, "We love each other to death, but we just haven't had time to be happy lately," with Kandi adding, quote, "For me, it typically spawns from something work-related." They also confessed that intimacy in their marriage had declined, with Kandi stating, quote, "It's not as good as it used to be. Not saying the sex ain't good, but meaning we haven't been having sex that much." But the couple held strong, publicly celebrating their 8-year wedding anniversary in April 2022. Kandi posted a video montage of photos alongside the caption, quote, "We've got that forever kind of love. Happy anniversary, my love. Todd, you were the perfect man for me. I'm a better me with you. 8 years down and a lifetime to go." Todd also posted a carousel of images of the pair with the caption, quote, "8 years of blessings. God is so amazing. He makes no mistakes. We have a forever kind of love. I look forward to our future and a lifetime of love. Happy anniversary to my amazing wife, Kandi. I love you." And things continued to be looking up for the pair, as in an interview with People a couple of months later, in October 2022, Kandi stated that their relationship continued to work due to understanding, great communication, and having fun together. She stated, quote, "Sometimes I feel like, especially when you're a woman who has dreams and goals, you don't always meet a man who is going to support your dreams and goals and keep pushing you," adding that Todd feels like her teammate. This same year at BravoCon, Kandi told the audience of the Atlanta Peaches in NYC panel that she, quote, "hates to watch arguments back because she has to go through it 3 times.
Like, we have the argument when it actually happens. You have the argument again when you see it on TV because you get mad again. And then we have the argument again when we have the reunions. I mean, even when my husband and I would sometimes see like old reruns of certain shows, certain seasons, we can't go back and watch together because he gets in his feelings about it.
Yeah.
Then it brings up certain things that he, feels the way about. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather not watch it with him. Certain episodes that I know are going to be touchy. Yeah.
One of the most touchy subjects for Todd and Kandi, Kandi's mother, Mama Joyce, who has never been a fan of Todd. Tensions between Mama Joyce and Todd began pretty much as soon as the couple started dating. Kandi's mum made it clear from the beginning that she did not approve of the union and accused Todd of being a, quote, gold-digging opportunist. The feud continued over the years with endless disputes, including at BravoCon 2022, where Mama Joyce stated she couldn't say 3 nice things about Todd.
Mama Joyce, say 3 nice things about Todd.
He's still short.
I say nice things, Mama.
I thought that was nice. He shaved his beard.
He shaved his beard.
Some. And he's very nice to his kids.
Okay.
The first two, she could have did better.
And him and I are getting along. We're getting along much better.
Kandi reflected on this moment during BravoCon the following year, stating, quote, "That BravoCon last year set it off in my household. They weren't talking. If she came around, Todd would leave." She continued, "It was a whole mess. I guess over the summer, he decided to let it go. They started communicating. She comes over and hangs out with the kids." So, while Kandi and Todd were open about the struggles and tensions in their relationship, they had always held firm and seemed like a strong couple who would never break. But fans began to suspect something was wrong in the lead up to BravoCon this year, noticing that Kandi had removed the last name Tucker from her Instagram handle. Things were also thrown into question at BravoCon when Kandi was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Bravos on November 14th, just 1 week before filing for divorce. This award recognised Kandi's run on Real Housewives of Atlanta, as well as her career outside the franchise. In her acceptance speech, Kandi took a moment to share a heartfelt thanks to Todd, stating, quote, "To Todd, thank you for surviving the blogs, the shade, the rumours, the lies, the truth, the almost fights, the actual fights, the reunions. You earned this award too." But the fact that Todd didn't attend to support Kandi as she received this award had some fans speculating that there was trouble in paradise. And other eagle-eyed fans noticed that Kandi wasn't wearing her wedding ring at BravoCon either. Then, exactly 1 week after accepting her Lifetime Award, on November 21st, Kandi filed for a divorce, putting an end to her 11-year marriage and 14-year relationship with husband Todd Tucker. According to her filing, Kandi stated that the marriage was, quote, "irretrievably broken, with no reasonable hope for reconciliation," and listed the date of their separation as July 15th, 2025. So, it looks like this official filing has been a long time coming. Kandi still kept things amicable and fair though, requesting joint legal and physical custody of their 2 minor children, Ace, aged 9, and Blaze, aged 6. Claiming that this would be in their best interest, and asked that the court determine the amount of any child support to be awarded. Her filing also stated that a prenuptial agreement had been signed by both parties before they walked down the aisle, and noted that Kandi wanted this to be enforced. When it came to their finances, Kandi's filing stated, quote, "Parties possess debts that have been incurred throughout the duration of the marriage, which should be subject to equitable division directed by the prenuptial agreement." On this same day, Kandi exclusively sat down with People magazine to release an official statement regarding the separation. Her statement read, quote, "After deep thought and a lot of prayer, I've made the decision to move forward with a divorce. This is a difficult and emotional time, but my focus remains on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect. I'm stepping into a new chapter, pouring into my work, my family, and my own growth. I'm grateful to everyone who supported us throughout the years, and I ask for privacy, grace, and understanding as we navigate this transition with our family." The next day, on November 22nd, Kandi and Todd showed their commitment to keeping things amicable as they got together to celebrate their daughter Blaze's 6th birthday with a Snow White themed party. The next update came a couple of days later, on Monday, November 24th, when Kandi revealed on Amazon Live that the breakup, quote, "has been brewing for a while." During the live, she said that it has been a, quote, "pretty crazy time," since she officially filed for divorce the previous Friday, but that she had no regrets about the relationship. Check this out.
Well, everybody who's been on the internet, I'm sure y'all saw that I filed for divorce on Friday. And yeah, right now it's a pretty crazy time. I'm going to be very honest with you. I am up and down. You know, obviously going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing. So I am up and down. And to be clear, yes, I filed Friday, but, you know, this is something that, you know, has been brewing for a while. So all the times you've been seeing me online like, all of that means nothing.
Kandi also revealed on the live that she and Todd were keeping things, quote, friendly and putting their children first, stating, quote, "We are co-parenting together. We have beautiful children together, so we're trying to make this transition as smooth as it could possibly be for our kids. That is our main concern. We are keeping it very friendly." She also revealed they would be having Thanksgiving together too. But this friendly separation, like so many others, didn't last long. Just 5 days after Kandi filed for divorce, on Wednesday, November 26th, Todd filed his official legal response, which must have been totally devastating and a huge shock for Kandi. In his filing, Todd stated that Blaze and Ace were currently in his care and living with him in Georgia, while Kandi handles, quote, out-of-state work obligations. He stated that Kandi's obligations would, quote, continue to require her to be away from the children for at least the next several months, and used this as his reasoning to plead for primary custody, turning this divorce from a friendly split to an outright custody war, despite Kandi previously stating they were amicably co-parenting and keeping things friendly. Todd's filing continued, quote, "The parties have been working cooperatively in an effort to resolve all issues, and Todd remains committed to continuing those discussions in good faith," adding that, in the hopefully unlikely event that they can't reach a custody deal, he will seek primary physical custody, joint legal custody, and final decision-making authority, proposing that Kandi get substantial time and meaningful access to the children. Despite this apparent declaration of war, Todd's lawyer did praise Kandi as a mother, noting, quote, "Todd wishes to make clear that he recognizes Kandi as a loving and capable parent and remains sincerely hopeful that prior and continued discussions between the parties will bring full resolution of all matters." But in yet another bold and harmful statement, Todd's filing then went on to address their prenup. Todd admitted that he did sign a prenuptial agreement before the pair were married back in 2014. However, he suggested that he was pressured into signing it without proper legal counsel. In his filing, Todd's lawyer stated that the prenup was, quote, presented to Todd without him having counsel, even though Kandi's then counsel had communicated previously with Todd's team regarding a potential prenuptial agreement. Continuing, despite that knowledge, Kandi's counsel presented the final agreement to Todd for signature immediately before the wedding ceremony, without any notice to or consultation with Todd's team, who had been significantly engaged in the negotiation process. His filing went on to allege that, quote, "These circumstances raise substantial questions concerning the enforceability of said document. Nevertheless, Todd remains committed to working in good faith to resolve this matter amicably and privately to the extent possible." When it came to their finances, Todd also demanded a, quote, "division of all marital assets, both real and personal, tangible and intangible, between the parties." He went on to request that if the prenup is in fact found to be unenforceable, he would be seeking primary physical custody, joint legal custody, and alimony from Kandi. Todd's decision to dispute the prenup is a huge middle finger to Kandi, given the reported difference in the couple's net worths. According to reports, Kandi's empire is allegedly reported to be worth roughly $30 million, while Todd's is allegedly estimated to sit somewhere between $400,000 to $4 million. A stark contrast which makes the prenup critical for Kandi to protect her premarital assets, such as her music royalties and business Bedroom Kandi. Depending what is in the prenup, we'll have to wait to see how their joint businesses, like their restaurants, will be divided. However, experts predict that Kandi will be protected by Georgia's equitable distribution laws, which split marital property fairly, but not always equally. Anyway, despite the fighting words in his filing, Kandi and Todd stuck to their agreement to put the children first, coming together once again to celebrate Thanksgiving on November 27th. In an Instagram post, Kandi shared a photo of her family all together, including her daughter Riley, Todd's daughter from his previous relationship Kayla, and Ace and Blaze. Kandi captioned this post, quote, "Happy Thanksgiving. I truly enjoyed my day with my fam. I hope you enjoyed yours. Now I feel stuffed like a turkey and need to lay down." Before fans could comment that Todd was noticeably absent from the photo, Kandi followed up with a comment that said, quote, "Before anyone assumes anything, Todd came earlier to eat with us, but he wasn't there for the pic. He was not left out or anything like that." In response, fans praised Kandi for making sure Todd was involved, while others insisted she didn't owe anyone an explanation about her family, relationship, or how she chooses to spend Thanksgiving. Things then went quiet for a couple of days until Monday, December 1st, when Kandi made moves in court to keep her divorce out of the public eye and fight back against Todd's claims about the prenup and application for primary custody. In her updated filing, Kandi amended her divorce petition to address Todd's allegations that he was forced to sign the prenup back in 2014 without his lawyers present. She stated that he was represented by a high-powered attorney before the marriage and therefore disputed his claim that the prenup was not enforceable due to his lack of legal representation. Kandi's lawyer stated, quote, "The parties' journey to executing an enforceable prenuptial agreement was filmed and broadcast on Bravo television network, with the knowledge and consent of both Kandi and Todd, for their 5-part reality television wedding documentary entitled Kandi's Wedding, that premiered on June 1st, 2014. The filing made clear that Kandi would be using this unaired Bravo footage in the divorce battle to prove that Todd had ample time to read and consider the prenup before signing." Her legal response went on to note that in the documentary, Todd, quote, audibly announced that he was good to sign the prenup after talking to his lawyer, quote, on and off camera. During this same amendment, Kandi also updated her initial divorce filing, changing her proposal for joint custody to instead demand primary custody of both Ace and Blaze. In her counter-argument to Todd's claims that Kandi travelled a lot for work, she stated that she was not the only parent who had to travel. Her filing said, quote, "Both Kandi and Todd have held professional obligations that have required each party to travel away from home for extended periods of time, independently and jointly, prior to and after the births of both of the minor children." The statement continued that on top of the nanny, their children also have a, quote, "diverse and concentrated family support network, which includes maternal grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins within a 5 to 20 mile radius of the family residence." Kandi also took the opportunity to petition that her divorce be kept out of the public eye, explaining to the court that she and Todd are, quote, "public figures working in the entertainment, television, and film industries, and so it was in the best interest of the parties' 2 young children that all financial information and custody disputes be kept confidential." Therefore, Kandi requested that all filings, testimony, and other evidence be sealed. In her updated filing, Kandi's lawyer stated, quote, "It is in the best interests of the minor children that the proceedings and all aspects within be sealed to prevent disclosures on social media, internet, and media at large, while the matter is pending before the court, and thereafter compromising the integrity of the overall proceedings." So, with the dispute over the prenup catching fire, Us Weekly spoke to multiple legal experts on how this could play out. And it turns out, according to reports, Todd might be fighting a losing battle. Legal expert Holly Davis stated, quote, "Any time a person signs a prenuptial agreement days or hours before their wedding, they're creating an argument to be made later that they were under duress or undue pressure to sign the document. However, this argument only holds weight if Todd can prove his argument meets certain factors." She continued, quote, "The fact that Todd had an attorney on retainer and had been discussing the prenuptial agreement with him for months preceding the wedding makes his argument a losing one, as he clearly had ample time and opportunity to speak with his attorneys before signing the legally binding document." Davis did, however, state that, quote, "In the rare chance that Kandi's lawyer fraudulently asserted that Todd's attorney had signed off on the terms of the prenup when they had not, it might have a chance to win." Meanwhile, another attorney, Atty K. Brueggemann, also agreed that the decision will all come down to the unaired footage that Kandi has submitted as evidence, stating, quote, "Because Georgia requires full financial disclosure, voluntariness, and the absence of coercion, Todd would need to show that one of these elements was missing when he signed. This is where the wedding-related footage becomes significant. If the footage depicts Kandi or her family exerting undue pressure, setting last-minute deadlines, or presenting the prenup under emotionally charged circumstances, Todd's argument could be persuasive." She continued, quote, "Similarly, If the footage or other evidence suggests he did not fully understand the financial terms, did not have a realistic opportunity to consult independent counsel, or was rushed into signing without negotiation, Georgia courts may view those factors as weakening the agreement's enforceability. Brueggemann added, quote, "The number one issue Todd would have to prove to challenge the prenup is involuntariness, that he was pressured, threatened, or coerced into signing, coupled with the lack of time to negotiate, consult with counsel, and understand the draft he ultimately signed." She concluded, quote, "The particularly interesting part of this issue is what the raw footage captured, what producers can testify to, and if there was any dramatic effect put into the edited footage that can be contradicted by witnesses to show that any panic, coercion, or intensity in that moment was inserted for dramatic effect and that all was settled prior to Todd's signing." Meanwhile, Jonathan S. Leveretz, a New York attorney who specializes in high-asset, high-conflict custody disputes and prenup litigation, told Us Weekly that Todd's claim, quote, "may have some validity as the lack of counsel is but one factor for the court to consider," stating, "While having counsel is an important right, it is not the be-all and end-all of the argument. The agreement would have to be one-sided in favor of Kandi in terms of the rights or deprivation of rights under the agreement. Therefore, if the agreement was lopsided and deprived Todd of significant marital wealth, and he was unaware of the terms, and Kandi had counsel present, that could be enough to increase his odds at overturning the agreement." What do you guys think? Do you believe Todd was pressured into signing the prenup? Or is this a ploy for him to try to gain as much as he can from the divorce, just as Mama Joyce always said? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, following Kandi's amended petition, things continued to spiral, as on December 3rd, new allegations emerged surrounding the reason for the split. According to a report by People magazine, a source close to the couple revealed the shocking news that, quote, "Kandi and Todd had been having marriage troubles for a while now. Kandi wasn't happy because she found out that Todd had been talking to other women behind her back. She had no idea." On the same day as this shock revelation hit the news, Kandi took to Instagram to speak about how she was feeling since the divorce filing, sharing a video montage of photos from the recent weeks as she reflected on how she's been hiding her sadness and pain throughout the separation. Kandi posted this alongside the caption, quote, "This is what I look like when I'm going through something. I show up for my family, I show up for my friends, I show up to handle my business, and I show up with a smile, all while on the inside I'm emotionally broken. In every pic of this video, I was internally dealing with something life-changing that most of the people in the pics with me had no clue of my inner stress and sadness. This is not being fake. This is just how I deal with things. I internalize and deal with it alone. I am the poster child for the saying, check on your strong friend because you never know what they're going through. I normally don't like to share stuff like this, but I was listening to this old song that I wrote years ago and felt like it perfectly described how I feel." The emotional song lyrics accompanying these photos, which Kandi stated described how she feels, say that she can't keep running away, continuing, "I haven't shed a tear, not even a whimper since December. I haven't broke my cool or lost my temper. I'm censored, but deep down I want to explode and just let all my frustrations go." This post was met with a huge outpouring of support from fans and fellow housewives, with Real Housewives of Atlanta co-star Portia commenting, quote, "You and your family are in my prayers," while Andy Cohen left a series of love hearts, and Heather Dubrow commented, "Sending love." A couple of days later, on December 5th, Kandi shared this video to her Instagram, sending thanks to all of her fans who have showed her support following her emotional post a couple of days before.
What's up, y'all? I just wanted to say thank you to every single person that texted, that sent a DM, a message, called, just showed love to me in any way. I appreciate you. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for all the love. I've just been rehearsing, and obviously this is a crazy time. And, you know, the other day it just, I guess, I was having a moment, but I'm thankful to you guys. I'm back to being my normal tourist self. So I'm just, you know, moving forward and looking for, you know, the sun to come out. How about that?
Kandi captioned this post, quote, "Thanks for the love. So many people reached out and I really appreciate it. I'm okay. Thanks for checking on me." Things then went quiet for a few more days until the next big twist in the tale, which saw Todd share his public support for Kandi after she appeared on the December 9th episode of The View to perform a musical number from her new Broadway show, & Juliet, which she'll be starring in from December 11th through to March 8th next year. Following her epic performance, Todd shared a recording of his TV screen as he watched the show, tagging the post with the caption, "Kandi, great job. Keep inspiring and doing your thing." In response, Kandi commented, "Thank you, heart," suggesting the pair really are trying to stay committed to supporting each other and remaining friendly despite the legal turmoil and emotional devastation this divorce is causing. This post also had some fans commenting that the two should get back together, with fans screaming for Todd to fight for Kandi. One fan commented, quote, "Talk to Judge Matisse and Michael Sterling and ask them how they got their wives back. I don't know any of them, but they seem happier with their amazing wives by their sides. Fight that good fight." While another wrote, "Go get your wife, bro." And another fan commented, quote, "I'm just praying, Todd, that you guys can work things out. Keep the noise out and try and find a resolve for your guys and them babies. Love wins." Then, on December 11th, the date of recording this video, Entertainment Tonight posted a video interview with Kandi, filmed before her debut performance. In this interview, Kandi was asked how she's coping with the heavy rehearsal and performance schedule on top of the personal struggles she's going through. Take a look.
This show is really helping me, you know? Seriously, it is. Because it's making me refocus on me. You know what I mean? It's making me get back into working out and doing my vocal training, and it's giving me something to do, more importantly. You know, sometimes when you're going through stuff, you have to, you put yourself into your work. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I put myself in a headspace to where I have to show up and be my best self. But even when you're going through something, you gotta show up for yourself if you don't show up for nobody else, right?
Right. I mean, what's the alternative?
Yeah.
Sit at home?
I'm definitely not gonna sit at home and fall apart. That's not gonna happen.
So, that's where things currently stand as of the date of recording on December 11th. But what do you guys think? Is this heartfelt post from Todd a sign of the couple's reconciliation? Who will win the custody battle? And who is right about the validity of the prenup? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. We're right in the thick of this divorce right now, with legal filings and headlines breaking daily since Kandi first filed less than 1 month ago. So I'll be sure to keep you updated on the latest news as it happens. I think that sadly, there'll be more shocking blows still to come. So, as always, if you haven't already, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more reality TV news and updates on this heartbreaking divorce as it happens. Thanks for watching.